Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Barshem, Yahushai, Barshem, Harakah, Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, all well. And Shalom to the whole full elect. This video title is going to be determined upon upload, but basically the topic I want to get into is, when you come into this faith, you're basically ostracized by your family. Alright, that's the usual happenings. I know I was when I came in, kicked out of my parents' house on multiple occasions. And I definitely did worse things, which I'm not going to delve into, that deserved that form of punishment, but allowed me to understand that the Spirit was really dealing with this book, man, alright? The Bible, alright? And that it has a power that really stirs up demons in a whole different way. And I see that, okay? So the point being is that when you walk this walk, the Most High, Yahweh, Barshem, Yahushai, through his son, Yahushai, basically set up the play, man. He wrote the script and everything's going to go accordingly, alright? Least it be, it's going to go according to the script, but your family may be, deal with you in a certain type of light, but hey, that's where it is, you know what I mean? So I'm going to kick off this lesson with Matthew 10 and 35, going to read down to 37, and it reads, and this is Yahweh Shai speaking, right? This is what Yahweh Shai had to say, for I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, all right? And how how would that be, all right? Your family, what would they tell you to do? Go to school, get a good job, or they may want you to follow a life of crime that preceded them before. Whatever stead they grew up in, they want you to follow in their footsteps, all right? But the Most High came to set you a variance against that, whatever they wanted you to do, to basically pursue what he wants you to do, all right? So that's how you be put at variance with them. And a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, verse 36, and a man's foes shall be there of his own household. Now you got to think about Yahweh Shai told you went into his country, how basically he could do no miracles there, all right? But heal a few because the faith was so little, all right? And that speaks volumes in terms of what he's saying when he says a man's foes shall be them there of his own household, all right? So verse 37, reading on, it says, he that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, all right? Because the Most High has got so much more to offer than you loving or holding an attachment to his creation rather than the creator, all right? And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me, all right? So, because ultimately you're worshipping the creation and not the creator. Yahweh is the one that is owed all the glory, all right? Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, Barshem, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, Barshem, Yahweh Shai, Barshem, Harakah, Kodash. That's where all the honor and glory is due, all right? So I want to give a great example of a man, our forefather, that if it wasn't for him following the commandment of the Most High Power, we wouldn't be where we are, because he, through starting with Noah down to the lineage of Abraham, or Abram at this time, he ultimately Abraham obtained the covenant, all right? And then it followed Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And remember, it tells you to, turn to the fathers, man. All right. In the book of Sirach, the 2nd chapter also tells you that look at any of the men of old. Did any trust in the Lord and he failed them, basically? And it says no. All right. None. So it's a great example for us to follow in following through with this journey, that being pilgrims upon the earth, and basically follow through with our lot and trusting in Yahweh Shai, casting all our lots upon him and trusting him in our journey. All right, it says Genesis 12 and 1. Now the Lord had said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country, all right, and from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto a land that I will show thee. So he basically said, look, man, You ain't gonna be in your house no more. You ain't gonna be under your father. Kick out, all right, and get to moving. I'm gonna show you your inheritance, okay? And that's what we're basically being told as well, man. The Lord, remember, it tells you in the book of Jeremiah how the Lord is gonna choose one from a family, two from a one from a city and two from a family, I believe, in Jeremiah the 3rd chapter. So that's the Most High. That's what He's set up to do. All right, set up to give us an inheritance outside of our family. All right. So it reads. It says okay, verse 2, and I will make thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. So Abraham departed as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abraham was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. Alright, so he basically left because the Most High said He's going to bless him. Alright, and that's the same thing. We've been blessed first and foremost with the gift of life, basically. The gift of faith, as it tells you in the book of Ephesians 2 and 8. Alright, and basically in doing so, as we open this package, the gift, we realize how much of a gift it is, because if the Spirit will, faith mixed with works basically will allow us to obtain, if it's our lot to be the elect and then have an inheritance in 144,000 in the rulership of the kingdom of heaven. All right. So read. So Abram departed as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran, so he was up in age. Right, and Abram took somewhat up in age actually, because back then, men were living for longer. And he was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. And Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran. Alright, so they had people working within their house, slaves, alright, servants. And they went forth to go into the land of Canaan, and into the land of Canaan they came. And Abram passed through the land unto the place of Sichem, unto the plain of Moreh. That's lucky. And the Canaanite was then in the land. And the Lord Yahweh appeared unto Abram and said, unto thy seed will I give this land. And there builded he an altar unto the Lord who appeared unto him. Alright? So the Lord ultimately said to Abram, like, look, you're going to get this inheritance. Okay? And this story reminds me of this parable that was spoken unto Esdras, which I believe was by the angel, about the city. I'll quickly roll through it actually. 2nd Esdras 7 and 6. There's also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things. Alright? Okay, now keep in mind that I just read about Abraham and his story, all of the hardships he went through with his wife, and going to different lands and having to maneuver, cut through the Fertile Crescent to basically obtain the blessing, alright, that the Most High said He was going to give to him. Alright, keep that in mind. The entrance thereof is narrow and is set in a dangerous place. Enter ye at the straight gate, as it tells you in Matthew the 7th chapter. Alright, broad is a way that leads to death, I believe. Alright. Like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water, and one only path between them, both even between the fire and water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? Yeah, because in order for you to obtain that inheritance, you got to go through the danger, man. Because that basically builds a gumption in you, all right? That allows you to obtain the inheritance and be worthy to deal with rulership over that kingdom, all right? And I said, it is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, even so also is all Israel's portion, all right? And that's the point. This is our portion right now. This is part of our portion. That the forsaking of your family upon you is to your benefit, man. All right, and I'm going to show you through this last scripture I got. This is Psalms 27 and 10. It reads, when my father and my mother forsake me, then the Lord will take me up. All right. So when our parents have forsaken us, like, hey, me, for example, when I really look back now and reflect and put things into perspective, had a lot of bloody issues, man, growing up, and it was down to the fact that I have my pops in my life, all right, and a misunderstanding of like characteristics as a man that I had, that was me and my brother, who's also in the faith, actually, both share similar characteristics, nuanced in some different ways, but when you cut it down, it's the same thing. And my pops exhibits the same story now that I've been able to talk to relatives, and they told me certain stories, so it gives me a lot of understanding and insight into the type of spirit that my lineage has, all right? And that gives me understanding. But when you lack that, you know, it definitely will make you go astray. But guess what? We have something to supersede that, all right? Because it says, when my father and mother forsake me, all right? And even my mum, that's a whole different story. But, you know, blessings to them both. But reading on, it says, then the Lord will take me up, all right? So it says, when they've forsaken you, when your parents have forsaken you, the Lord's going to deal with you. And that's what's happened through the Spirit. The Lord has definitely will take you up, man. I can say that the Lord has done that through the word, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. It has allowed me to obtain a greater direction than my father or mother would have been able to give me, all right, in this life. Okay, and that's why even it says in Isaiah 41 about how could a woman forget her suckling child, and it said, if how could she, and if she does, but I will not forget my child. Basically, the Most High is saying, more or less, all right, because the Most High won't forget us. We're, Lord willing, we be of the elect, all right. That means we're the firstborn of the spirits. So how could he forget the firstborn? Because remember, the firstborn of the spirit is sanctified unto the Most High power. Okay, the first that cometh out of the matrix, whether it be any form of creature that comes out of the matrix, even the first fruits have to go to the Most High power. They would have gone on to Levi, all right? And remember, before Levi was set up as a priest of the nations, it was originally meant to be all the firstborns of the families, all right, which is going to be re-implemented in the kingdom, dealing with the 144,000, all right? So the Most High never forgot his chosen people, man, and he's going to sup with us and deal with us, man, all right? The Lord said that, I stand at the door and I knock. And he that lets me in, I'll sup with him. So the Lord's going to sup with you, man. Have a relationship and build with you. So with that, I really pray that you're edified. I say shalom on to the next one. Shalom, shalom.